Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a review here for Batman Detective Comics Volume 7, Batmen Eternal. Not Batman Eternal, Batmen Eternal, plural, bro. Anyway, this is James Tynion IV's final volume of Batman Detective Comics for the Rebirth era. I think after this he went over to just doing the regular Batman comics. I think he was the follow-up writer behind Tom King, if I remember correctly. But I could be wrong about that. I don't even know if he's currently still doing Batman. I'm so far behind by like 5 years. Anyway, I reviewed Volume 6, and I was not thrilled with it. I had my complaints, I had my nitpicks and my problems with it that I talked about in my review. I only reviewed Volume 6. At the current moment, I don't have a review for Volume 1 through 5, but I'm kind of glad I didn't go back after finishing this book and what happened in Volume 6. I'm kind of glad I didn't go back and reread Volume 1 through 5 because I don't think it would have been worth my time. Tynion is a very wordy writer. There's a lot of sentences, there's a lot of words in those sentences, there's a lot of talking, not a whole lot of action. This volume, I was curious to see what would happen with that, whether it would pick up a little bit more since it's the finale of his ongoing or what. But basically, I have to talk about some of the spoilers at the end of the previous volume, so if you don't want to hear that, get the hell out of here. So, in Volume 6, if you're still here, Clayface was shot and killed, sniped, by Batwoman, because her dad, the military man, whatever his name is, gave her that rifle, and it killed Clayface. And so in this volume, we pick up with a story called The Trial of Batwoman, which basically Batman has the whole Bat family, everybody from Barbara Gordon to Red Hood, Damian, Nightwing, pretty much everybody but Orphan come to this meeting, and I think Nightwing and Azrael weren't invited because they've kind of went off to do their own thing with Batwoman and her whole team in like a weird sci-fi police thing that they're doing working for her dad. That was teased at the end of Volume 6, now it's actually a thing, and I could not possibly care less. Because I don't like Batwoman. It's not just because of what happened in the previous volume, it's just she's a terrible character. And she's annoying, she's pale white on top of that. It just makes me hate her guts. Anyway, so this volume, that little meeting is kind of the trial of Batwoman. And essentially Batman is talking to the rest of the team about what are your thoughts on what she did, killing Clayface. Should we let her back in the team? What do we take into account here? And most of the team are on, obviously, Batman's side. Tim Drake is kind of on his side as well. But like Red Hood and Barbara Gordon, I don't really like this version of Batgirl either. She's kind of a bitch. She's kind of a bitch to Batman, too. I don't really know why. I don't really know what informs that. I don't really care enough to go look into it. I've never read a Batgirl comic. I've read things she's involved in. But, this particular Barbara gets on my nerves. She's just a fucking brat. She's written like a 15-year-old. You know what I mean? But she's got to be, in her 20s, right? Mid-20s, late 20s. She looks like it. But she's written like a 14, 15-year-old girl who just constantly has issues with Bruce. And she's always back-sassing Batman. Who does that? You know what I mean? Again, I don't know enough about Batgirl to know if that's part of her character or what. I knew Red Hood was because naturally they've been, enemies at one point and friends at one point. But the back and forth between Batman and Red Hood, and kind of Damian too, involved in all this, was kind of fun. I liked that part. The Trial of Batwoman overall is like one issue long, and it's really not that great. But then after that, we kind of turn into the final arc of Tynion's run that I thought was going to wrap up all this Bat Family shit, to be honest with you. By the end of it, it kind of does, and then I've read the next volume, which is technically Volume 8. I think it was Brian Hill who did the writing for the next volume, but anyway, the stuff that they seem to wrap up by the end of this Batman Eternal storyline that they're about to do, that I'm about to talk about, all of that is basically still there when Volume 8 kicks off, which I don't like. It feels like a stupid decision from editorial, But I'll get into that. Batman Eternal basically has Tim Drake. At the end of the previous volume, we met a guy named Ulysses, who was from the future. He's working with Brother Eye. He's kind of part of that future death vision thing that Tim Drake saw of his older self that tells him you're going to kill Batwoman. And of course, after her choices, let's say, at the end of Volume 6 and killing Clayface, that really pushes Tim to want to do that. A lot of his time is just him working on the Belfry Tower and obsessing over not allowing himself to become this evil Batman thing in the future. The stuff with Tim involving his personal struggle, I really like. I like how Bruce has conversations with him about, look, just chill, man. You're in control of this, whatever. But he kind of doubts him too, I love that stuff. That stuff's the best part of the book, to be honest with you. The stuff with, Steph. She's involved in here a lot. Stephanie. I was surprised she was in here as much as she was, because they kind of had a send-off with her, but now she's kind of there again by, the midway point of the book, I guess. Even though her and Tim kind of had a falling out again. But I like her involvement here and how they utilize that by the end. It's kind of corny. It's kind of predictable. I don't really know what was going on with Tinian in this, why his whole ongoing here for Detective Comics was kind of predictable a lot of the time, except for the Mr. Oz stuff early on. That was nice, but by now, let's do something different. But anyway, essentially Tim Drake becomes evil because of some nanobots shit that I don't think I remember. If it was in the previous issues, or in the previous volumes of Tinian's run, I don't remember it. Because it's been years since I read Volume 1 through 5. But I don't know about the whole nanobots thing, but basically Tim becomes corrupted. Some other people do too, so you kind of have evil Brother Eye, Batman-looking dudes running around and attacking people. And essentially the whole Bat family have to take down Tim Drake. And as you know, I'm not a Bat family fan. I fucking hate the Bat family thing. I don't like it. I'm sorry. And maybe Detective Comics has always been like that in recent years. I don't know. It seems to me, like what I read online, that it was mainly something Tinian and the previous writer, who I don't remember who that was, for Detective Comics, that they kind of compiled and had. So I don't think this is an always thing, right? And I'm cool with Batman having one Robin, but that's pushing the limits for me. Everything added in a kid and a girlfriend and a wife and Catwoman, all that bullshit Tom King did, I'm not really a fan, to be honest with you. Some of that goes back to my problems with Morrison, for that matter, and classical Batman, Silver Age stuff. So I have my issues, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to keep going into that. The Batwoman stuff in here, this tries so hard at times to justify the Batwoman versus Bruce Wayne kind of issues that they have, maybe a little bit of trying to resolve that. I don't like any of that. I don't think Bruce should let her back in the team with how impulsive she is. Batwoman irritates me especially because she's typically, when she is on the page, or if she is having an intro to an issue or a volume in this case, they always treat Batwoman like she's basically just Batman but female. Like she's as skilled or as knowledgeable as Bruce Wayne is. And she's just not. She's just not. She's never in her entire career in the comics, in my opinion, from what I know anyway, because I haven't read Elegy or anything, she just doesn't earn her way to be respected the way they try to pretend like she is. She's not as cool, she's not as skilled as Batman, or Bruce, whatever we're calling him, and I don't like how she always acts like she knows what to do as impulsively as Batman, where he could almost predict any move you're going to make and has a plan for all of those moves you could make. They always portray her that way, and Tinian did nothing different with that. It's annoying. It's annoying, and I hate it. She should be removed. They need to kill her ass off and kill her dead. I don't know anybody on the planet that I've ever talked to that likes Batwoman. Online, in person, no one. It's just one of those things, kind of like Captain Marvel in recent years, even the Brie Larson Captain Marvel. No one likes that character. They just don't. I don't know anybody who does. So anyway, the whole kind of explanation about who Ulysses is and what his kind of motive is, all of that stuff's debatable on whether it's good or bad. I don't really like it that much, to be honest with you. Ulysses seems like such a wasted opportunity. It kind of feels like filler for the end of an ongoing, or a run from somebody, like in this case. And that's basically what it is. The whole evil Tim Drake thing, for me, is not super satisfying. Until the end, I will say the end, not the solution of the evil Tim Drake thing, but kind of how the story wraps up. And what I thought they were promising us by the end of the book for the upcoming next writer for Volume 8, and kind of the choices we were going to do, maybe getting away from the Bat Family thing. It seemed like everybody were kind of, moving away to go do their own stuff. I was hoping that was going to be the truth, and it's not. That's a small spoiler, but it's not. So I'm not really in love with Volume 7, as you can tell. I think I like it less than Volume 6. Because Volume 6 had like that good one-shot annual or whatever about Clayface himself growing up, and I liked all that. But this, I don't know. And even some of the stuff they do to kind of retcon parts of Volume 6. And by the end of this book, like within the last couple of pages of this book and this run, it's annoying, and I don't like it, to be honest with you. So anyway, that's pretty much my general thoughts about Batman Volume 7, or Detective Comics Volume 7, Batman Eternal from the Rebirth line. I don't love it. I don't think Tynion had that great of a run, to be honest with you. I mean, after the whole, Mr. Oz thing is kind of explained away early on, it kind of loses all of its steam for me. But all this, Tim Drake versus Batwoman shit, it really just didn't land for me. And one other thing, too, I've complained about this a lot in the past on other volumes when I used to review them on other channels that have been deleted and so on back in the day. You have splash page after splash page. There are some times, and don't get me wrong, the art's beautiful as usual, but there are many times where you'll crack open an issue of this book, and, you'll have, 6 pages, as in 3 collective splash pages, back to back. I mean, one after another. And you don't see that very often. Maybe it's a cool, look what we did, type of thing. But it's still kind of annoying, because I'm reading it on a Kindle, and, trying to zoom in and see everything in a nice, detailed way. You can't really appreciate that digitally. So, just a minor nitpick from yours truly. It's really not that great, to be honest with you. And I felt bad for Tim by the end of the book. That's the one big heart of this is Tim and Bruce. And Cassie too. Cassandra, whatever we're calling her, Orphan. They do a lot of stuff with her in this whole volume about her and being upset about what happened with Basil, Clayface. And I really liked what they did with her a lot of the time. That was cool. I don't mind Orphan. A lot of people don't like her. I like her more than Spoiler. What's her face? Stephanie. I like her more than Steph. That's a personal opinion. I don't know how popular that is, but that's my personal opinion. I think I like her more than Azrael. At least what I know of Azrael, aside from Nightfall and this. I don't even think Nightfall counts anymore. So anyway, what do you think about Volume 7, Batman Eternal? Did you love this? Did you hate it? Do you think Tynion had a good run overall? Did you love it? Did you hate that too? Is this the best Detective Comics run for you? Let me know everything you think about it down below. And, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.